Leader of the third party.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Over the past week, this House has had to devote a significant amount of our time to dealing with a potential issue with grants program run by the Ministry of Energy, Mines, Low Carbon Innovation. The issue only came to light because of a business that was willing to put the public interest before themselves. We are fortunate to have this company in our province. Not every industry has this. And not every grant administrator is as blatant as MMP appears to have been. Even more worryingly, this government had many opportunities to investigate. Edison Motors and the three opposition parties provided time and space for this government to prove that they were taking this issue seriously. But at every point, the government was adamant about not investigating until the public pressure became impossible to ignore. My question, Honourable Speaker, through you, is to the Premier, because this is a question of leadership. The public has a right to know if government grants are above reproach. To this end, will he direct his ministers to review all grant programs and present a report to this legislature?
Minister of Energy and Mines.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to the member for the question. Again, we do have allegations about MNP's role in two specific programs, and that's why the Auditor General is going to undertake an independent and fair review. If he sees fit, he can expand that as needed, Mr. Speaker, and we will await that direction or intention that is put forward by him. But, Mr. Speaker, right now we want to maintain, of course, the integrity of this process in an independent office. We want to ensure, Mr. Speaker, that our priority remains supporting the review. So, Mr. Speaker, I encourage anyone who has information they want to share with the Auditor General to do so, because we have to get to the bottom of this. We have to make sure that these programs are fair to the applicants that are applying for funds to do incredible technological innovation here in British Columbia, these home-based companies that deserve our support. Mr. Speaker, that's why we have to get to the bottom of it. Thank you.
Member supplemental.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I asked a question to the Premier. I asked a question whether he would direct his ministers to review all government grant programs, because we're at a time when the public has some pretty serious and pretty valid questions about how decisions are made with public money, who gets that money, and whether those processes are trustworthy. I didn't ask the question to the Minister of Energy and Mines, who failed to ensure that the grant program out of her ministry was trustworthy, despite being presented with evidence that it's not.
Where is he?
I asked the Premier a question about leadership in this government, and I'm going to ask it again. Will he direct all of his ministers to review government grant programs in their ministry and present a report to this legislature that will be visible to the public as one step, one necessary step to beginning to restore public trust in how money is granted by this government?
Members. Members, it's the tradition of this House, the Executive Council members, whoever is chosen to answer the question, they can answer that. So Minister of Energy and Mines will now answer the question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, since the beginning, we've taken action with the information that we've received about these two specific grant programs, which is why, when we had new information presented to us this weekend, we felt that the questions being asked are so serious that they do deserve an Auditor General's review, and that's what's taking place. Mr. Speaker, that review is about these two specific programs. If the Auditor General wants to expand the review, it is entirely within his purview. So if the member has information that she wishes to share, I would encourage her to do so. Mr. Speaker, of course this is incredibly serious. We need to make sure these processes are fair. We need to make sure that the public trust and the confidence in the way that public funds are administered is the #1 priority. Mr. Speaker, that's why, Mr. Speaker, this independent and fair review by the Auditor General's office is the right thing to do. It is what's going to take place to answer these questions. Thank you.